So I came across this cute little piece. I was looking at old movies, and I came across The Third Man, by screenplay by Graham Greene, and he writes this from the movie. In Italy, for 30 years under the Borgias, they had warfare, terror, murder, and bloodshed. But they produced Michelangelo, Leonardo, and the Renaissance. In Switzerland, they had brotherly love. They had 500 years of democracy and peace. And what did that produce? The cuckoo clock. I like that. Anyway, this is a story about an incident that took place when my daughter and I, Catherine, were walking through the public garden. She was 9 months old. I was walking. She was in the stroller. And yay high off the ground. And we paused for a moment, and a small dog came up to her and face to face and said, "Woof!" My goodness, her eyes got big with excitement. She 9 months old, and this dog came and spoke to her. She twisted her neck, looking back at me to say, "Dad, what happened?" And so I don't know what it was that sparked me, but I walked around to the front of the stroller. I knelt down, and I looked at her face, and we were face to face. And I told her the story of what happened. Daddy and Catherine were walking through the public garden, and a dog came up to Catherine and said, "Woof!" And Catherine was surprised. Well, that moment changed our lives because she understood me. She understood the words in an abstract sense. She could understand a story. From that one little incident, it was concrete and fresh in her mind, and then I put it into words that later that day, as we walked home, I told that story again and again, and she wanted to hear it again and again. And when I put her to sleep, she heard that story again and again. And from that story came a lifetime of stories. And the way I encouraged it was that the next day when we went back to the public garden, we stopped in front of the mallards. And of course, the mallards were not being cooperative, and they did not say quack, quack. But I told her the story and inserted the quack. And I came around front, I knelt down, and I said the whole thing again. Daddy and Catherine were walking through the public garden, and a mallard came. And just at that moment, by some great luck, off in the distance, a mallard, a different mallard, not the one in front of us, did quack right when I wanted it to. And that was really excitement. It was exciting. And we went from mallards to squirrels. I had to make up the sound. I don't know what a squirrel says. I faked it. And we went through every animal that she was familiar with. We began to talk to each other. And that was a wonderful milestone for parents. So, days later, a couple of years later, we enroll in school, in preschool. And of course, all the parents are measuring their children against each other to see who did well and where you're lacking and what you have to improve. And several of the young mothers came to me and asked me how it was that Catherine was so verbal at her age. And I looked at them in turn, and I paused and I said, "Woof!" And that's it.